Disclaimer: the following story is a fictional reimagining of the Nale Ba legend, intended for mature audiences. It contains disturbing and unsettling themes. The air was thick with the scent of decay and desperation. A remote village, lost in the labyrinth of India's forgotten corners, was the stage for a horror story that would echo through generations. It was here that the legend of Nale Ba would be etched in blood and terror. Bali was not a name whispered in reverence. It was a name that sent shivers down spines, a name synonymous with the night's most terrifying specter. A young woman, once brimming with life, now a vessel for an ancient evil. It began innocently enough. A village untouched by the rapid march of modernity, where time seemed to move at its own languid pace. Bali was a dreamer, her laughter as clear as the mountain stream that ran through their village. But there was an undercurrent of melancholy in her eyes, a yearning for something more. Then came the change. Subtle at first, almost imperceptible. A growing detachment, an eerie fascination with the night. Villagers noticed the change, but attributed it to the pressures of growing up. They were wrong. One night, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the still night. It was Bali's. When they found her, she was different. Her eyes, once filled with dreams, were now black pits of nothingness. Her laughter had turned into a haunting, inhuman cackle. And then the disappearances started. Children first, small, innocent souls, vanishing without a trace. The villagers were gripped by fear. Whispers of witchcraft, of black magic, crept into their conversations, but nothing could prepare them for what came next. It was a full moon night, the kind that casts an eerie glow over everything. A group of young men, armed with nothing but courage and tradition, decided to confront the evil. They found Bali in an abandoned hut on the outskirts of the village. The hut was filled with a strange, otherworldly light, and there, in the center, was Bali. But she was no longer human, her body contorted in unnatural ways, her eyes burning with an unnatural intensity. The confrontation was brief and brutal. The young men, filled with terror, could do nothing but watch as Bali transformed. Her skin stretched, her limbs elongated, her mouth widening into a grotesque grin. And then she was gone, vanished into thin air, leaving behind a stench of sulfur and a chilling silence. From that night, the legend of Nale Ba was born. She was said to be a shape-shifting witch, a creature of the night who preyed on the innocent. She could mimic voices, lure people out of their homes with promises of help or friendship. And once they opened the door, it was too late. The villagers learned to survive. They marked their doors with the words Nale Ba, meaning come tomorrow, in the local dialect. It was a desperate gamble, but it seemed to work. Nale Ba would come, read the inscription, and leave. But the fear never truly vanished. It was a constant companion, a shadow lurking in the corners of their minds. Bali, the girl who once brought joy to the village, became a symbol of terror. Her story was a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within, of the thin line between human and monster. Decades later, the village is no more. It's been swallowed by the relentless march of progress. But the legend of Nale Ba lives on. It's whispered in hushed tones, a cautionary tale for the unwary. And on nights when the wind howls and the moon is full, some say you can still hear her laughter, a haunting echo of a life lost to darkness. The story doesn't end here. Nale Ba is a timeless entity, a shape-shifting evil that adapts to its surroundings. Perhaps in the neon-lit cities of today, she has found new hunting grounds. Perhaps she is closer than you think.